Hello, Moist Voicers, and we are back with another episode of the Moist Voice Podcast. But this one, it's a little different. We're recording with video. So my name is Northstar, aka Northstar TV, aka the fan favorite, unlike Jason. Speaking of Jason, this is Jason, aka Shades of Idiocy, the man next to me that is just barely over the requirement of handsomeness.
I'm still cuter than you, though.
Just because Rachel tells you that doesn't mean it's true.
She tells me that for the benefit of the fact that we all know that, my main man Alfred here in the background, he's the real fan favorite.
Yeah,
we all know.
I'm pretty sure he's going to steal the show now that we're on video. But he's going to be slightly cut off with the logo, so you may have to step to the side and just let him sit there.
Oh, I'll let everybody see him right now. There you go. For anybody who's heard me talk about him in the past, that is AKA Alfred Chicken Nugget, Chicken Alfredo. Hey, dickhead, put that down. He goes by a couple different names, but that is Alfred.
So moving on. Wearing headphones for just an hour could increase the bacteria in your ears by 700 times. Not sure if that includes just regular headphones or earbuds. Only 4 words in the English language and in dus. Horrendous, tremendous, hazardous, and stupendous. Bert and Ernie's names came from a Christmas movie. The Sesame Street characters were named after Bert, the police officer, and Ernie, the taxi driver, in Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life. Here's a fun fact. If you ever felt like you think better in a warm shower, you're probably right. The warm water increases the flow of dopamine and makes you more creative. It's where I decided to add video to this podcast, how I was going to do it, and how I wanted the overlay and intro to look. I get my best thinking done with a man-made waterfall. Venus is the only planet that spins clockwise, but Jason's anus is 4 times wider, or whatever that planet's called. And that's the news, baby.
All right, couple things. When you said, I'll do my best thinking under a man-made waterfall, brother, if man-made you mean a plumber and a shower, cool. Yeah, if not, I don't judge what you do on your Friday nights, brother.
Listen, $20 is $20, but that's not what I meant. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that might be our motto for this stream. Also,
that is our motto. $20 is $20.
So stupendous, horrendous. What about jealous?
Dus.
It's got to be the dus. Okay.
D-O-U-S.
Okay, D-O-U. All right. I was sitting there like, what about jealous?
He was trying to think of words. Look, he never believes me.
No, I believe you. I just like to get hands on with. Also, the Bert and Ernie thing. Did you ever see the one skit of Bert and Ernie in bed? He's like, Bert, you're shouting again, Bert. he's like, well, Ernie, I wish you would eat cookies in the bed. And he's like, Bert, you're shouting again, Bert. It's a really funny skit. Anybody that hasn't seen it, I encourage you, go look up Bert and Ernie in bed. It's fucking hilarious.
The only one that I remember is the Sensimia Street, the one where the non-kid version that someone made.
Oh, I do know what you're talking
about. Kermit's like selling drugs and shit. Kermit the Frog here. Today's word is today's letter is bong.
I always loved Dave Chappelle's impression of Count Chocula or Count whatever he was. He's like, one pimp slap. So what's going on? How we doing? First time on video?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it right now.
No? Just a little nervous? People staring at you?
Like most of the time I'm not wearing a shirt when we're recording. Now I got to put a shirt on. It's hot. I wish I didn't have a shirt on. We can't have our fans on because we're recording.
Correct.
It's hot. Speaking of hot, yeah, so like you know what's really hot? Wildfires. You know what people are over fucking exaggerating about in Maryland? The fact that they can't breathe during these wildfires. Like the winds have shifted, yes, and it's hitting a lot of states, but it's not even remotely close to us. Like you're barely getting a fraction of it. So the fact that I see people on Facebook in Maryland complaining, hey, have you guys been getting headaches and stomach aches? And people are like, oh, I can't even breathe. I'm like, there's no first wildfire. Like there's no, the air is not that bad in Maryland. Like it's not even remotely bad. I lived in Oregon for a year. And for, I don't know, like 2 months in the summertime, there was fucking wildfires everywhere 60 miles away because some dumb fucking bitch left her campfire on overnight during the dry season. So we couldn't fucking breathe. And when it finally got cool enough to where we could open our windows and not have to run the AC, we could fucking open the windows because we couldn't breathe. Don't fucking tell me you got headaches, you motherfuckers.
That's weird. Not being able to open a window. That's a wild like concept.
Oh,
like,
bro, we could not.
Let's crack a window.
like what they're feeling in New York was not as bad as what we had to go through, but holy fuck, is it a different experience than what everyone's complaining about?
Right. So the pictures from New York are wild. I'm not gonna lie about that.
So like
They're wild.
Philly's getting hit hard with it as well. A lot of like that surrounding border of Canada,
Just the surrounding states and whatnot.
It is spreading. It is like holy fuck spreading.
Now, the only thing that I've seen is that it is bad, but they're saying that it's more than just wildfires. They're saying like Canada itself is on fire. Like the forest, the buildings, like everything is burning.
Yeah.
Right. I will say this, and I agree with you actually. I think people are just clout chasing. Like, oh, I went outside, I couldn't breathe. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
there is no
I work
like,
outside.
Yeah, you can smell it a little bit. Like the wind is shifting towards us, and like it's there. Like we can tell that it's there, but it's not even remotely fucking going to hurt you. It blows my mind the amount of statuses I'm seeing these past week. Holy fuck. Get a grip. Hey, look, first wildfire.
Right, we've talked about it before. People need a reason to be upset. They want to like be in the in crowd. Like, oh, I'm offended by what? Wind? By air?
Yeah, you pissed off at Mother Nature right now? Like,
right. Like, what are you mad about?
You've been looking for a reason to put her on the fucking cancel list?
Yeah, I mean, Wednesday and Thursday, you could definitely smell it. Like, I walked outside, and my first thought was, I wonder if there's a house on fire in the neighborhood. Like, that was honestly my first thought. I was like, I don't hear any sirens. Maybe something's on fire somewhere. Turns out it was, but it was way up in Canada, not in my neighborhood.
Yeah, like it's hit us, but like such
minimal.
Yeah,
minimal.
I don't know, man. No, like it's just on the list of things this week that I'm just like, I think you could have made better decisions. Another, let's talk about it real quick. Nick Mercs.
I didn't hear about this.
He had his operator pulled from Warzone. Per Activision's tweet, they said something along the lines of, don't quote me verbatim, but they said something like, we're pulling Nick Mercs' operator from Warzone, blah, blah, blah. We're going to spend this month celebrating Pride with our workers and family and friends. I'm like, why do these companies do that? They don't actually give a fuck about Pride Month. They've been doing it for years. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Chasing that dollar.
The reason that his operator got pulled is because he made a statement. And now, again, don't quote me verbatim, but he said something along the lines of, with like the LG, I actually cannot remember all of those letters, but that community, he specifically stated he wants the kids to be left out of it when it comes to that topic. And I think it was along the lines of them, the dances for kids, whatever movement's happening or something like that. I guess that's why he said that.
Right.
But he said something along the lines of just like, leave the kids out of it. And like, that's pretty much the summary of what he said. And I told someone, I said, look and listen, he is a bro, like through and through. And like that is not something that goes against his beliefs as a person, as like I think he's religious. I don't know, but
I have no idea.
But like all that shit goes against anything he believes. And he is a really outspoken person. And if he doesn't agree with something and like something and is just thoroughly against it, he voices it, and like, it. So I was like, he could have said a lot worse things, like 100%. I've heard him say worse things about things that he did not give a fuck about.
Right.
So it could have been worse. I think him just stating his opinion on how he feels about that in that moment on that subject, I don't think that deemed he had to have his operator pulled from Warzone. That was Activision trying to save face with the community that they're celebrating this month, even though like we all learned companies like that don't actually give a fuck. It's just for attention and to make sure you're talking about their products.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. It's just them overcompensating like everyone else does because they feel like if they don't get out in front of it, they're worried about the backlash they might catch, when we all know all they care about is the bottom line. Yeah. They're just making sure you download that new skin. They're making sure you buy that new pack, that new DLC. Let's be real here. It's corporate world. All they care about is money. Oh, they'll do whatever they have to do to protect that bottom line.
Yeah, my take on it is that should he could have just like he has too much of a voice. He probably could have just shut the fuck up. But
He could have skated right under the radar.
But I also get it. Like sometimes you just don't want to shut the fuck up. You won't, like you want to say things. Like you have the voice, right? So I get it from both fronts where he should have just not said anything, but I also understand why he wanted to say something. I just don't agree with the backlash that he received for them removing his operator. Like that just, I think that was too much based on like, it wasn't that big of an incident. Cause if you've ever listened to Nick Mercs or watched him play, like he could have easily just gone far down the rabbit hole with that subject. And that I would have understood taking away his operator. Cause he's done some shit like that before.
You think they just went nuclear?
They definitely went nuclear for something that
they could have slid out. Yeah,
something they could have just like had a talk with him or made a tweet saying like we don't agree with what he said, blah blah blah, like some
slap on the wrist.
Something. I don't agree because like he has a lot of fans, big fan bases, like, and people paid money for his skin, and they're gonna stand by him through this. And he has a lot of fans standing by. I've been reading the tweets. There's a lot of people standing by him, so people are pissed off. When
you say that people bought his skin, so when they removed his operator, does that mean anybody that bought it also got it removed from them as well?
I don't know if it gets removed from them. I would, at minimum, I think it just gets removed from the store. I can't imagine that they would remove it from people's inventories after they paid money for it.
That's where I'm wondering.
I can't imagine that.
Right, because then they might come after him. Like if you paid like how much is this? I don't play COD.
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, so let's just round ball. We'll say it's $20.
I don't think it's important. I just wanted to state that like he has fans that paid money to beat him in that game, and they're like, you're gonna take it away from the store. They're like, okay, we're not happy about that.
Yeah, they're gonna stand him. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, can we get into something that I'm actually upset with you about? I wanna get into something else. Because I saw a conversation with you and Saiku about Pickles, and we're gonna get into this right now. Because
Saiku, I didn't have a conversation with Saiku about Pickles. That was Sleepy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Old people and their lack of reading.
No, I read either way. You made a comment about
you did what? Because you just said the wrong person's name.
I did. Well, Saiku, Sleepy, man, they're all the same to me.
No, they're not. Even...
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Either way, though, you made a comment about Pickles ruining the burger, and I'm here to tell you that you're an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
You are.
Okay, you don't need to throw slander and a whole bunch of words my way that are in the negative manner based on my opinion that Pickles ruin everything.
Your opinion's wrong.
I'm sorry, but like pickles are an overpowering flavor. As it's on there by themselves, it's fine. Eat a pickle, but like you don't have to mix it with shit. Like everything, that should be a choice. It shouldn't be a standard. Like if I go to any place and get a burger, it fucking comes with a pickle on it. You should have to say, "Hey, can you add a pickle?" Like that shouldn't be a standard to put it on there because it is such an overpowering flavor. Yes, it is.
I didn't say anything.
You were shaking your fucking head no, though, but it is.
I forgot we're on video.
Like, that's why, like, a lot of restaurants got that fucking shit right. They put the pickle on the side. You have the option. A lot of places.
That's a pickle spear.
A lot of places. Now, you could still put it on your burger, though.
Nah, you don't put a pickle spear.
You can. You can, but you put they give you the option. A lot of places, a lot of restaurants even put the lettuce and the tomato and the onion on the side. You have the option. If you want to use it all, if you want to use some or none, they give you the fucking option. If I go to McDonald's and get a McDouble and I say no pickle and they still fucking put a pickle on because it's standard and they're stupid, I'm mad because it's an overpowering flavor.
We're not going to get into fast food because that's just, you're never going to.
No, pickles give me anxiety. You shouldn't have brought it up.
Oh no, I'm bringing it up because pickles. I love pickles. I love a good pickle on a burger.
I like pickles, but I don't agree with pickles on like anything hot.
Oh no, I love a pickle on a burger. Oh, it's like standard for me. It is a standard for me.
I don't care that you love it. That's cool. I am not going to call you a fucking idiot for that. Thank you, Bob.
You might.
No, I wouldn't. But I am.
You've called me an idiot for far less.
Prove it. What I'm going to say is that it should not be a standard. It shouldn't be burnt into the brain to be like one of the main ingredients that go on burgers and chicken sandwiches, bro. It shouldn't. It should be an additive, not a fucking standard ingredient.
Okay. All right, we're gonna agree to disagree on that because I love pickles on my burgers and chicken sandwiches.
Listen, you could. Oh, hear me out, right?
Mhm.
You could please everyone if all the food industry, fast food industry, and all that, because they're the main ones that do it. You could please everyone by just making it a secondary option, not a standard. Like, not a standard practice. That way,
I think you're in the minority.
The people that don't want pickles, they don't have to go out of their way to be like, hey, can you not add pickle to this? And then you're like sitting there wondering 50-50, oh, are they going to fucking actually listen? You know?
I think you're in the minority, not the majority, but we'll agree to disagree.
It doesn't matter. My point stands is that you could please everyone. So if it doesn't by standard come with a pickle, anyone that wants a pickle, just be like, hey, yo, put pickles on that for me.
All right, it's 2023. Let's be real. You're never going to please everybody.
When they forget the pickles, you can fucking feel how I feel. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's 2023. Anyway, you're never going to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody ever.
But that's how you please everyone. I'm literally saying it.
I'm so glad that I could trigger you this early into the podcast.
Both sides. Like,
I'm so glad.
Simple too. I just, pickles give me anxiety. Don't do this to me.
I'm so glad I could trigger you this early in a podcast.
You didn't have to.
But it's fun for everybody, including the viewers, and not just the listeners. Now the viewers, they can see the pain on your face of talking about pickles on a burger.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of pickles on burger, I gave my compound away in Rust. How they correlate, I don't know. I just wanted to get away from pickles.
No. I know you were talking. I was see. So here's what I didn't understand about this. Now, for anybody, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We'd love to have you. I'm not a Rust player. We've been over this before. I'm not a sweaty gamer. Me and Matt are completely different as far as gaming goes. So for Rust, when he says I gave my compound away, and I'm like, wait a minute, you spent like 36 to 48 hours. No, go ahead.
Couple things. One, I'm a new Rust player. I have 220 hours now. It was 218, but I played for a little bit earlier on a practice server trying to learn how to fly minis. So I'm 3 wipes in, and we're about halfway through this 3rd wipe. So I'm like a little over a month in, 220 hours. Most of that time has come from like between 3 to 5 days per wipe, and each wipe is 2 weeks. So for 3 to 5 days per every 2 weeks, 220 hours. You do that math. I've played a lot of Rust in a short time, technically. So last weekend I did 60 hours. Between Thursday to Sunday, I did 60 hours of Rust. But anyway, I, for the most part, built a compound by myself. I had a friend who doesn't really play the game, doesn't really know anything about it. I asked him to go farm me some wood, and then I asked him to go up to the outpost to trade it in for stone. He made a couple of runs doing that because I needed to make the outer exterior walls. Then I had another friend. He came on. He farmed a little bit, not a whole lot, and then he died to someone. He got clapped. He was mad about it. He got off. He hadn't gotten back on. So for the most part, in 60 hours, I built the compound by myself. First compound. Every base that I've built prior to this was just me learning how to build bigger bases efficiently and cost effective. I built the compound. It was really cheap, cheaper than I thought it would be. I had a lot of loot, and it got to the point where I was so rich, and like I raided a few bases, and I was just bored. I was tired of being rich. So there was some new players that came on the server, and they said they came on to practice doing oil rig. And I was like, have you done oil rig yet? He said, no, we've done cargo. I was like, oh, were you on my compound? And I gave him the codes for everything. And I was like, all right, have a good wipe. And I logged off.
See, this is where like I'm confused. Like you work so now, granted, this is you said you're on your 3rd wipe in, but I remember when you first started playing on that first wipe, like you were so sweaty, you were so like flustered because you were trying to get everything going, and like you worked so hard at these bases, and you've talked about it before. For you to just give one away, I'm just flabbergasted. You're just like, all right, here you go.
I was done.
Right, and so is it you're just done until the next wipe, and then you start over?
Yeah.
That it so That I guess that's what's weird to me because I've never played a game where you wipe. So that's what's new to me is the wipe.
I get that you don't understand it, and a lot of people don't understand it. And to me, I did not until I played Rust. I didn't get it either. I was like, why? Why the fuck would? Why the fuck? What? That doesn't even make sense. Why? Once you do it, you understand.
You don't get it until you get
Basically, it's until you know. You don't know until you know.
Oh, what's that you used to tell me when you try and train me? What you got it?
Now you just need to get it.
Get it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
I got you.
basically, so I put in a topic thing. It says the journey to your goal is more satisfying than reaching the goal itself. So create more goals. So that's an example. I'd been doing it on Rust. I wanted to learn how to build a compound. Check. I wanted to learn how to properly run wiring for turrets and do up to 9 of them on one battery. Check. I wanted to learn how to fly a mini. Still need more practice. I wanted to learn how to make automatic lights that turn on at nighttime. Check. There was one more thing on my list that I had, and I honestly don't remember what it was, but check. I did the majority of everything that I wanted to learn, but the mini thing I wasn't going to learn on that server. There's a practice server I can go on. It's way more cost effective because it costs 750 scrap to buy a mini. When I went on that practice server, I crashed 6 of them within like 2 minutes. So
when you say, are you talking about like a mini helicopter?
Yeah.
A little whirly bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I everything that I could have possibly learned on that server at that time during the wipe, I did it. I was done. My goals are complete. I had fun during the journey. Journey's over.
I'm assuming 750 scrap is expensive in Rust?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scrap is gold.
Okay, so when you say you crashed like 6 of them off the rip.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did everything. So I was like, all right, I'm done. And I gave it to someone else that needed it. I didn't need it anymore.
So let me ask you this now. So now that you've gotten through a wipe and done everything you wanted to do, are you now going to try playing a different style in the next wipe? Or are you just going to do the same?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So what I've been doing is each wipe or each time I've rebuilt. So on the first wipe, I rebuilt 3 times. And on the second wipe, I rebuilt 3 times. On this one, I'm comfortable enough with where I'm at that I just don't feel like I need to rebuild on this server again.
Right.
I've learned everything that I wanted to learn so far. Everything else is just getting out there and just repetition experience. Like playing on max pop servers and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I feel a lot more confident and comfortable. I understand how the game works, how mechanics work. I get it. So giving away all my stuff, I didn't care about it. I was like, I already learned everything I needed to learn. That guy needed it more than I did.
I got you.
Every time I've rebuilt, I built in a different style of area around different, either a different monument or just like whether it's snow, a grassy hill with nothing around, or in the desert. So like I've built in different areas, trying to learn what's the most efficient way to like go about my wipe building in those areas.
Different challenges.
I've built different style of bases. But for the most part, I thrive in a 1x2. I have min-maxed. I know how to maximize storage in a 1x2 now. Actually, on the practice server earlier, I learned how to maximize even more. But that's with building like a somewhat bunker base. But we'll get to that on the next wipe.
Yeah, no, it's just as I said. Now that you've explained that, I do understand it a lot better. So every time you wipe or you rebuild, you're trying a different spot, different challenges, different terrain, different circumstances.
Yeah, learning something new.
Okay. Right, I get it. Okay, that's good.
I'm trying to take this experience and min-max. I'm trying to learn everything that the game has to offer as fast as I possibly can.
That also shows how dedicated you are to it.
I mean, I played 60 hours in a weekend, so yeah, twice.
I'm actually officially over 100 hours on Stranded Alien Dawn,
and that is a lot for you.
That's a lot it's been over a month for me too, though. So it's a lot for me. But it's mostly the late sessions where like the kids go to bed at like 9:30 ish. She'll either fall asleep on the couch or she'll go to bed around like 10ish. And then my stupid ass, I've been playing since like 7:38 and I don't get off till like 11:30 or midnight because I'm just like locked in playing, and you're like zoned out. You look up, you're like, why is it midnight and I'm still up right now, knowing I got to be up at 5:30? That's a problem. It's a real problem,
bro. So when I on the second wipe I played, I had like half a compound. I had the base line. I had 3 floors. I had everything ready. All I needed to do the next was external TCs, walls. I had all of the material to do this, but I was tired. I just finished a 12-hour session, and I was like, I gotta work in a few hours. I need to get a nap. If I would have just done that, I wouldn't have. There was a higher probability I wouldn't have been offline while I was at work,
right?
Because I had no defense at all.
Offline, of course, is being raided while you're not on.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. That's wild.
Yeah, so work cucked me.
You're right. Yeah. So here's the lesson of the day: quit your job, be a bum.
Yeah, every time I've gotten raided, it's because I had to go to fucking work. I'm telling you, that game is a job, bro.
Like, the way you've been playing, I believe it.
It's the thing is that it's not just me; it's the game. It's how you have to play it. To be like efficient and effective, you have to be on the fucking game.
I got you. So speaking of jobs and them ruining things for you, I want you to know that I'm a little salty right now, and it's not at you. It's at well, she's not in here right now, so I can't yell at. I'm waiting for the door to open and something get thrown at me.
It will.
So
if you keep going,
right, it will, because I'm loud enough she can hear me. So next week is most kids are already out of school. Depending on where you live. Wednesday is Rachel's official last day of school. She runs the cafeteria in a county public school. She's off for the summer. She decided not to work the summer.
You've gotten better at that. You were about
to
dox yourself.
I'll triangulate myself. I give you my address. Well, maybe I'm not giving out my address. She's off for the summer. She decided not to work. So she got her tax money. She put a little bit away. She can last through the summer. We got her bill money. So she's basically
she doesn't get paid.
No, she does not get paid. No. So county public schools are interesting. I don't care. County public schools are interesting.
You could have just said yes or no.
Yeah. Well, no. You got to listen to the concept. They don't pay into unemployment. So they can, when you're off from June till late August or whatever, you get nothing. No benefits, no unemployment. No, you're just off. You don't get paid at all. But they pay into different things for all that. But yeah, no, she does not get paid unless you do summer cleaning, summer feeding for the summer kids like me that had to go to school because you're dumb and they got provided with lunch. But no, she's off from June to August, and I'm a little salty because she gets to now sleep in and hang out on the couch with Alfred, and I'm going to be up and going to work every day, and she usually calls me at like 10:30, like, oh, good morning. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm already on like my second shower door of the day. I'm mad. I'm salty. It is what it is. I'm salty.
I think it'll be all right. All right.
It will be all right. I'm still making money. I'll be all right.
That's how hey, listen, for like 2 months, bro. Just listen. Just hear me out. When you get home, there's gonna be food waiting for you. Let's speak it into existence and hope for the best.
Yeah, I have a sandwich waiting for me.
Hey, that's something. You ain't had to make it.
Nah, it's all good. No, she does though. She'll keep the house up, keeping all that going over the summer since she's home all day with Alfred and the kids. So,
so hear me out, right? That's she's not gonna be having as much fun as you think she will be.
No, she's got to deal with the kids. She's got to deal with the dog. She has to deal with me whining when I get home. So that's one thing.
It's like you might still be in the better place because you ain't got to deal with kids and a dog and all day.
Well, she's been doing it for a long time. She's been dealing with the kids for a long time. The dog, well, he's a different story. I usually do get a phone call. That is a grown-ass
man, that dog you have. So
a grown.
That is a grown-ass man. That is a handful.
Yeah, for anybody that saw him earlier in the podcast, yeah, he's a 140-pound French Mastiff. He's a grown boy.
That is a grown-ass man. He has a mustache and everything.
I mean, if my beard were his jowls, that's what they look like. They like hang down here and they like droop and move and whatnot.
Yeah,
I love that dog. He's awesome. And one more side note, just for being a grown man and adults. I was excited. I've been working on my credit and getting our debt paid down, and I got a credit card offer that I applied for, and I honestly, I always assume I'm going to get turned down because I'm not used to being an adult. Like I'm waiting for them to be like, oh, in 7 to 10 days, we're going to send you a reason for why we didn't approve you. And like, I'm just picturing the paper showing up like, yeah, suck our dick. You're not getting a credit card. I'm like,
I wish they would just like tell you right then and there. Like, what a waste of fucking paper.
Yeah, well, so they'll tell you right then and there if you're approved or not. But you're right. The reasoning. I get it.
Send it through email. Like, who gives
exactly?
a fuck?
But anyway, I did get approved, and I got approved for. I'll just say I got approved for $16,000 on a credit card.
That is way more than I thought you were going to say.
Whoa, that was way more than I thought. I was thinking like, all right, they might give me 2, maybe 3.
I was like, based on what you said, I was like 10 grand,
dude.
16.
I was thinking 2 or 3. 16. I was like, what?
Chop that fucking thing up right now. Throw it away. Throw it away.
So
that is bad news waiting to happen.
No, it's not. Well, no, because
it is.
Well, if it was just me, it is. But I've got Rachel, my financial manager,
by myself. Yeah, I could run that bitch up.
Bro, you know what kind of PC I could build for 16 grand, son?
They go to the fucking Snap-on trucks, max that bitch out one transaction.
No, Milwaukee, man. I don't mess with Snap-on. They're too rich for my blood. I don't make that kind of money. I make good money, but I don't make Snap-on money.
But they do payment plans.
Oh my God! Right? We both know somebody. We both know somebody. He's paying $450 a month for the rest of his fucking life.
I know plenty of people that have still got to make payments.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so I felt like a really adult. Like they were like, "You're approved for 16." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was like,
what? Have you met me? How?
Like I had to go. Like Rachel was in the bath, and I went in the bathroom. And I sat down. She's like, "What's wrong?" I showed it to her, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "That's what I said."
We both.
Wait, what?
Like,
Bro, it was like my surprise level was on the same level as when I got my Christmas bonus from work last year. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, did you put an extra 0 by mistake? Like, did you do something wrong? So yeah, so I was excited. I'm excited, and we're gonna make our way through that, and we're gonna.
That's inspiring, actually. I'm gonna go apply for one. I'm gonna get denied, but I'm gonna apply for one.
Nah, I got faith in you, man. I got faith in you.
I don't.
You want me making authorized user on mine? Can we use a little credit?
Yeah, bet. Let me hold $1.
We already let you hold some. Shit, Rachel done bought you that G Fuel, bro.
Yeah, she did sponsor an episode.
She sponsored an episode. I think that's more than one episode, isn't it? You didn't drink all G Fuel in a week.
Oh.
Or did you? You were playing heavy Rust sessions, or did you?
So those tubs used to last me 2 weeks. They last me like a week now.
Oh, you're going too heavy on them then. That extra scoop. We get that extra scoop in there.
Listen, I'm tired all the time. I need the energy.
I relate. I can relate to that. I can absolutely relate to that.
But to be honest with you, Russ has been really inspiring to want to stream again, because the main reason that I stopped streaming is that I stopped loving it. And I stopped loving it because I stopped loving playing games. Rust has brought that back. Like I'm
happy for you.
You don't sit there. You don't accidentally play Rust for 24 hours if you didn't fucking love playing it, right? So to get into that, let's do this week's Let's Talk About It. Is take any inspiration you stumble upon and run with it. Run like the wind, bullseye. And that's what I'm doing. So here's 2 examples. One, I'm getting that inspiration and motivation back to fucking finally stream again and like steadily stream again. I'm just, boy, am I almost there. I'm telling you,
we're waiting.
I am almost there. So much so that like I've been talking a lot about it. I asked Nop to make me that intro. So much so that it inspired him to want to stream. He hasn't streamed in fucking eons. He's been going live. He was like, bro, you inspired me. I was like, let's fucking go. Cujo streamed. He hasn't streamed in eons. We've all been saying it to each other. Like, bro, we need to start streaming. But like, we just haven't. We're all in the same boat. We just haven't been doing it. And so it's just a domino effect. So like, we're all finding our little bits of inspiration as we go and we're fucking running with it. And I think that plays through in life. So for instance, us doing videos for the podcast now. I was in a fucking shower, you know, having me a man-made waterfall on my face.
I love it when it runs down my face. Oh.
I don't know why, but I was like, we should start doing video. And then my main thing was, how am I going to do this? So I had to do some research because I knew it was going to add more work. And one thing I've loved about this fucking podcast is, one, I get to speak freely and get some shit out of the brain, but it's minimal fucking effort when it comes to just doing the podcast. Sit there for an hour and a half, record, easy.
Right.
Add the intro, outro, fucking export it as MP3, upload, easy. Write a little description about what we talked about, easy. Minimal fucking effort.
As long as you remember to upload it.
Yeah, let's not, anyway, we digress. Knowing that it was gonna be more work doing the video part, I was like, why did I think of this? But it sounded really good, and I was like, I can do it this way, I could do it that way. We can have this, we can have that. Ooh, I wonder if Nop will make me an intro. Ooh, maybe he will. Sure enough, he fucking did. I asked him, like 15, 20 minutes later, he had it. I was like, what?
Crispy.
He had the outro. He did the outro as well. He was on. I was like, fucking thank you.
He's a rock star for real.
It looks so good. And
it does.
It's just a lot of things while I'm having the shower. I'm just like, I'm one thought moved to another. And I'm just like, I can feel the inspiration building up in the brain. I was like, we're fucking doing this. Who cares if it's more work?
Shower. That's a good shower.
Who cares if it's more work? We're doing this. I want to do it. We need to upload video because I keep seeing podcasts, but they're always video to go with it, like these little reels and clips and shit. I'm like, we fucking need that, bro. Let's grow. Let's try something. We fail. Who fucking gives a fuck? We fail on our own terms. You know what I'm saying? But I did figure out, best believe, I'm a work smarter, not harder person, to cut out a lot of fucking extra bullshit.
Yeah.
So, we're about to min-max with this motherfucking minimal effort, still doing video, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how we roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, just any little bit of inspiration that you find, it doesn't matter what you're going through, what you're dealing with, what you need to do, or what's to come. If you find it, if you see it, I don't care how fucking far away it is, see that inspiration, run to it. Don't fucking stop. Knees to fucking chest, run to it.
Knees to chest, elbows high. Get it going. No, I'm gonna say this. Your inspiration is perfect.
What did we say?
I didn't cut you off. Wait until you were done.
What did we say before? What did we say yesterday morning? During my segment, you just don't fucking talk at all. What did we say?
I wanted that answer. Don't you lecture me.
Did we not though?
You let me know when you're done. I have something to add.
I'm done, but that's not the point.
If you were done, that was the point then.
But you didn't know I was done.
I did too. You was looking around.
You didn't know shit. You didn't know shit.
I never know shit.
Do you know the thing? I
messaged
messaged Rachel the other day. I said, I want to give Jason his own segment. I got to think about how we're going to fit it in, but how I have my let's talk about it. I want him to have his own little segment. As she said something, I was like, yeah, so shut the fuck up during mine. And she goes, that won't happen. I'm like, yeah, probably not.
At least she knows me.
Anyway,
I do have my own section. It's called the 90s sitcom sex dictionary.
Anyway, what did you have to add? I'm fucking sweating bullets right now. Holy poop.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here too. Your inspiration, the thing that I'll say is that it's addictive or it's infectious. It's very infectious. Because I said on the last podcast, that intro you made for your stream, that shit is so fucking good looking that I'm never going to stream. We've talked about this multiple times. I'm never going to stream. I wouldn't be good at it. That shit had me ready to make an intro, outro, and start streaming. Just put my ugly ass mug on Twitch and be like, hey, I can do this too. It's very infectious.
It's like a domino effect, bro.
It is like a domino effect.
If you see someone that is doing something that potentially could interest you, and like they're diving full fucking head first into it, and like you see that they're actually like gaining some traction and progress and understanding it, it is a domino effect. When I started streaming, and like I was, it was a technical issue after technical issue, but we kept pushing forward. Despite the headaches and the obstacles, we kept pushing forward. We grew, we stayed consistent, we kept going. And like I did a lot in a little bit of time, considering I didn't know shit about fuck when I started. Because of that, like all of my friends wanted to start streaming, and they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't stick with it because they were inconsistent, but the domino fell in their lap, and they gave it a shot. They realized it wasn't for them, but they gave it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Inspiration is infectious. It really is. It's always
motivation
fun.
is infectious.
Motivation is infectious too, but it's always nice that when you see a friend doing something, you're like, damn, like they're good at that shit. Like, I wonder if I could try it out and be good at it. And like now it doesn't always work well for other people, because some people are like, He's doing it. I bet you I could do it. Now, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you can't do it.
It depends on how much of your heart's in it.
Well, you said motivation.
Yeah, it's never as simple as, oh, they can do it. Why can't I?
Right.
Do you want to?
You said it right though. The motivation has to be with the inspiration. Inspiration is what you can be inspired to do anything, but if you don't have the motivation to stick with it and keep going, that's when you're in the problems.
And that's where once you find the inspiration, fucking run with it. Use that as your motivation, because if you're waiting for that part to come, it won't.
I agree.
Not quickly, and maybe not at all. Sometimes you just gotta take that step, because it ain't gonna take it for you.
Yeah, North Star's got a light jog. He don't be running much.
I put some fucking knees to chest. If I'm inspired, don't you test me.
Nah, you've done a good job. I'm glad that we're finally doing the video. It's going to be fun. You know, we're already having a lot of fun. We're going to look forward to doing a lot more of these. So.
And from here on out, we record at nighttime, because holy fuck, during the day, it's hot as shit right now.
I'm just looking at the bright background for me. You see my shiny old forehead glistening right now.
If I didn't have dark ass curtains, the sun would be shining on my forehead, and you see it glistening too.
Oh, it'd be Team North Star from Twilight.
And I can't
fucking... He glows in the daytime.
So I have two fans. I have a big shop fan, and I have a tower fan. The tower fan points at where my mouse sits, because my hand sweats all the time. So to counter that, so the moisture doesn't get in the mouse pad and make the mouse pad stick, or the mouse stick with the mouse pad, I have a fan constantly blowing right specifically on that spot. So that doesn't really hit much else. Sometimes it does if there's good airflow happening in the room, but like usually it's like that's it. And I can't turn the big ass shop fan on, because that's a little loud, boy.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And the AC is not running right now, and I don't know why.
Because they saw you were going to be recording, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck him, just leave it off."
But all right, so let's get into our Mount Rushmore. We do a Mount, because we're running low on time.
Okay.
Every week we do a Mount Rushmore. Well, we try to. Some weeks either we forget or we just don't agree on a topic, so we don't do it. But for the most part, we have a good track record for doing a Mount Rushmore. Yeah. And this week, since I've taken the reins and have chosen the topics for the Mount Rushmore, we haven't missed one. I just want to say that.
Oh my God! You just had to say that, didn't you?
What, the truth?
Just because you veto every one that I pick doesn't mean that
fucking ideas.
Viewers might not think that.
What's your Mount Rushmore of fucking cold remedies? Like, who gives a fuck?
You go back to that same one, and you're gonna kick that. You're gonna kick that one
because it was the dumbest one you had. That's why I have to say it. Like, who gives a fuck? All right, but
people that are sick.
But this week's Mount Rushmore is going to be character development for the better in TV shows. And Jason and I are actually, based on some of the thoughts I heard him have, we're gonna have a different list.
Yeah.
So we are. Let's have you go first.
Let me go first. All right. So my first one is a show that you've probably never heard of, but I've mentioned it before. There's a TV show called Farscape. It was a sci-fi show from long ago.
You've mentioned it. I remember it.
Well, I didn't know if you remember it.
I haven't seen it, but I remember you.
No, you've never seen it. So for anybody that's seen the show, there was a character played by, I can't remember her name. Her name is Erin Soon. And in the beginning, she was a peacekeeper, which is just a loyalist soldier, just basically no thoughts of her own. She only did what the crown told her to. Over the course of the show, she becomes, she goes to the other side. She questions her faith. She completely throws away all the teachings that she grew up with as a child, and she ends up, falling in love with the main character and becoming a mother and married to him. And her whole character progression from just a mindless soldier to a compassionate thinking person, it's a beautiful progression. It's 4 seasons, so it's a long time coming, and it's very gradual, but you do start to see it. It's an awesome shift. The second one, we were laughing about this one because we did have a different thought. I've been watching a lot of Family Matters, so Laura Winslow. So Laura Winslow, if you ever watch this show, Family Matters, Steve Urkel, she is a bitch to Steve Urkel for
a long time.
Good 5 or 6 seasons.
Most of the fucking show.
So yeah, she is a snooty, stuck up, like, you can't say anything to me. And then in the end, she falls in love with him because of, he has a character progression as well. They end up getting married, but they go through some trials.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. It was over in like 98. Okay. Anyway, her character progression from just this snooty, stuck up kid to somebody who actually accepted Steve for what he was and fell in love with him for what he was is a huge character shift from the beginning episode to the latter episodes. So it's cool to see because we're rewatching it. God, it holds up actually as a sitcom. I'm enjoying watching it now as much as I did back in the day. The third one, and this is just for the anime in me, is Vegeta from Dragon Ball. Vegeta is probably one of the better character progressions that you'll ever find out of anybody. Anime, non-anime, whatever. He goes from a self-centered, egotistical, doesn't care about anybody character to a family man, a protector of his family, his home, Earth, where he's not actually from. He protects people who he doesn't necessarily care about just for the fact that he is who he is and he's gone through that character progression, probably due most in part to Bulma. Matt's over there. Yeah, exactly. Matt's over there with the crunch face because he doesn't watch anime. He hates anime when I talk about it, in fact. But we're going to talk about it.
That's why I'd hope you move on from this one.
And then my last one is Turtle from Entourage. So this is a cool. What you laughing about over there?
I just did not see that coming. That was left field. All right, let's hear it.
Yeah. So Turtle, and now I think
Turtle's like a short, kind of chunky dude.
So he's a short, dumpy. He's the fat friend that leeches off like the handsome friend. But in the end, his character progression, he starts working out. He exercises. He loses a little bit of weight. He gets fit. He ends up starting a tequila company, investing and becoming quite rich, actually, off of it. He ends up becoming his own man. And in the end, in the latter episodes, he's a very humble guy. He's not leeching off his friends. He's actually trying to help his friends by sharing his wealth with them to like pay it forward and pay it back based on his experiences. So his character progression, I think, is a really good one, not just physical, but from a more mental aspect. Like the things he goes through is just like this little fat kid that's like, what's the term? Trickle down pussy, I think the word is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Trickle down booty. Let's go with that one. Anyway,
I never actually watched the later like stuff for that show, so I didn't know any of that. I knew him for what he started as.
Yeah, the fat little like hang around friend. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm you mother. All right, go ahead, man. We're gonna get to yours. Go ahead.
All right, so for my list, there no particular order, but Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. We had talked about it. Jason chose. He said if he was gonna choose, he'd choose Penny. And I was like, I could see it.
Choice.
But Sheldon in that show had the biggest amount of character development. He went from this guy who was like a genius who could not even remotely show emotion towards anyone besides his Meemaw. And he didn't understand sarcasm. He was just oblivious to anything outside of his world. Everything had to be his way, blah, blah, blah. And then as you progress, spoiler, he learns how to actually express emotion. He starts to understand sarcasm a little bit more. But like overall, like he fell in love and got married. But like if you start from day one to like the end, two completely different Sheldons. And that was actually amazing. That's an amazing show. If you haven't watched it, fucking good.
I don't mean to interrupt you. So I've never seen the entirety of it.
Me.
Oh my god, we just got Max. I just started watching Big Bang Theory.
You could have just interrupted me. I didn't mean to do this, but I'm gonna do it. Just do it. So Max, so HBO Max is now called Max. And what's the meme? Well, Peacock, you're up next. Anyway, what were you saying?
I just started watching Big Bang Theory. I've never seen the entirety of it.
Oh, it's so
I've seen
good.
So me and Rachel made one of those deals where it's like you can't watch it without me. Don't watch it without me. So we're watching it.
It's just a sitcom. It doesn't really follow too much of a storyline. Like some episodes tie together, but not a lot. It's usually,
go ahead.
Usually pretty different. Anyway.
All right. What else you got?
So what? Sheldon. So the next one, Jesse Pinkman. If you ever seen Breaking Bad, he had a phenomenal amount of character development. He went from this snooty, punky little fucking young ass kid who's like, "What's up, bitch?" Like he thought he was a gangster, but he was a little punk ass bitch.
Bitch.
Science, wearing the baggy ass fucking clothes, the dumb jacket, had the fucking neck beard, never combed his hair, disrespected everyone, thought he was king shit, but he wasn't shit. But he was a bitch. But as he progressed as a character, he started to realize more and more how much of a bitch he actually is, and he started to own up to it. But more so as it went on, he started to build more of a conscience, more emotion, Like he started to actually fucking feel, and it took him down this fucking wild journey. You know, he fucking loved that one girl and she died. He woke up, she's fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? Like he had amazing character development in that show. Based on what I've heard from the spinoff El Camino, that went a whole fucking different route. But if we're talking just Breaking Bad, he had a lot of character development from where he started to where he ended. Not that he was my favorite character in that show.
Yeah.
So another one, Neil Caffrey. You don't know who Neil Caffrey is? Are you a fucking communist? Neil Caffrey is one of the stars of White Collar, one of the best shows ever made. Don't at me. I'll die on that hill. Neil Caffrey is a con artist. He's a liar. He's a thief. He is smart. And he just doesn't care about anyone but the next score and himself. Until he fell in love. But as time progressed, like he only had one friend. Everyone else was an asset until he met Peter. And Peter really helped with his growth. So in the end of things, was he still a con artist? Yes. Was he still a thief? Yes. Was he still one of the best fucking art forgers in the history of ever? Yes. But he became less selfish. He stopped stealing just because and started stealing for the right reasons. He got on the better side of things. And in like day one to the end of Neil Caffrey, yeah, he's still the same Neil Caffrey, but he honestly, if you just watch the show, you'll understand he progressed significantly more to go from being that to what he became. And that's the best way I can say this. He's still here's where he started, here's where he ended. He still was this, but at least he used it for good. You know what I'm saying? Have you watched the show?
I have.
Okay.
I've seen a couple episodes. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen a bunch of episodes though.
I'm not really sure how to explain it. He was still a liar. He was still a thief. He was still smart as fuck. But he used a lot of it for good when it came down to it in the end. He actually started to let people in and give them a chance. You don't have to interrupt everyone that I do.
I'm not. You're done. That was your fourth one.
No, that was 3. Yes, that was 3.
My math ain't mathing.
No, your math ain't mathing.
Nope. All right, go ahead. Fourth one. Klaus Michelson. No, let's go back. Why are you trying to interrupt every time I talk? Because I want to help you.
How often? How many times did I interrupt you during your? See, this is what we talked about. Do you know during the Let's Talk About It? And you fucking
I'm just trying to help.
Just shut up. I swear to God, this is why you're not the fan favorite, Jason.
You're not either. Alfred is. We talked about it.
Yeah, but he's not in the room, so I'm the runner-up.
He's not. She stole him.
So I'm the runner.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, before Jason interrupts what I'm saying again, Klaus Michelson. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the original vampires. He was in Vampire Diaries. Then they did the spinoff show explaining the original vampires and their story of that family. If you watch the show, you know who he is. If you haven't, let me learn you something. Klaus Michelson was one of the few original vampires created. The family was having a problem with werewolves. They were fucking running a terror. So their mom, who had been practicing dark magic, their dad said, hey, you need to come up with something to make them stronger. Because they had lost one of their brothers to the werewolves or some shit. But anyway, she cursed them. And that's when they became vampires, the original. So they are the strongest, the fastest, and you cannot kill these fuckers. There's only one way to kill them, and that's with carving a stake out of some fucking magic red oak fucking tree. Because they are the originals. And like because of that, they are the sire to every other vampire created. So like, say one bites one and they make them a vampire. They are the start of the domino effect for every vampire in that line. You know what I'm saying? You watch the show, that plays a big part because while it's hard as fuck to kill an original, they can die. But anyway, his mom cheated on their dad and with a werewolf, mind you. So he was half vampire, half werewolf, and he was angry. Their dad tried to kill them. They ran for centuries from him because he tried to murder his whole family because he hated what they became. They were monsters. And he was angry, and he took it out on anyone possible. And like for no reason other than he was just angry. He used to put a stake in his brother and sister, like all of his brothers and his sisters. He put a stake in their heart to make them fucking sleep for like decades just because he was sick of their shit. and wake them up whenever he felt like it. That was the kind of person that he was. But as time grew on, he actually started to build emotion because, you know, when vampires, they can turn their humanity off. Well, he turned his shit on and he actually started to like care about others and help them and be there for them and just not act out of anger, but like he started to act out of real, genuine emotion towards the end. So much so, no, you haven't watched, it's old. You haven't watched it by now. He gave up. He sacrificed himself so his daughter and everyone else could live. And one thing he loved more than anything else was being immortal. So that was one of my favorite character progressions, because if you've watched the show, you understand that motherfucker was a terror, needed to be put down for a long time. But he became a guy that I liked. You having trouble, Jason?
No, I was waiting for you to be done. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, don't use that sarcastic fucking tone with me. Tell me I'm wrong. You do interrupt me all the time.
Hey, you said spoiler 4 times while I was doing mine, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because that was funny. But I didn't go into a tangent. That's different.
No, I was trying to help you, though. Anyway.
Help me.
I was trying to help you.
Help yourself. What are you looking at?
I can't. No, I was pulling my Discord back up. I can't help myself. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I couldn't help myself if I had to.
It's hot as fuck.
It's warm. I'm okay. My AC is on, thankfully, but it's definitely warm.
Weird flex, but all right. All right, let's get into this week's Urban Dictionary words of the week.
All right. So, Urban Dictionary words of the week.
Hey, real quick before you start, I realized something after we recorded the last episode. Remember how the words of the week sucked?
Yeah.
Well, remember, like the week before you weren't on that episode, you could have done that week as well.
There might have been some better choices in that week.
Last week sucked.
So there's a couple good ones in this side though. So the first one is Niblings, and that is the slang term now for any nieces or nephews, just in general. You and your Niblings. So you've got a Nibbling named Little Baby Atticus. What? Your Niblings.
That's what that means?
That's what it means. Niblings, little nieces and nephews.
Oh, that's funny.
The next one you are very familiar with, called the Sleepy Ha-Has.
No.
It's when you've been, oh yeah, you are. It's when you've been awake for like 24 to 36 hours and random, just anything somebody says to you, you just break out laughing for no particular reason. You just find something funny for no reason.
Oh yeah, that's when you're just delusional at that point.
You're so sleep deprived.
That happens after like 40 now for me.
Well, yeah, you've trained your body now. You're 24 is nothing for you. Yeah,
it's not the same.
Manifestering is basically when you manifest like just bad thoughts into existence. Something rotten. You know how we're always talking about speaking good things into existence? Yeah, this is the opposite. Manifestering, when you just speak something rotten into existence.
Yeah.
You know, every time you tell somebody, I hope you step on a Lego.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that ties into the law of attraction. You know, your mind is a magnet, and what you focus on is what will stick to you. So yeah, that's the alternate bad version.
A lot of people believe in that, actually.
It's true. Our mind is the strongest muscle we possess.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, the last one is same cider, and you'll love this one. If you've ever gone to a restaurant, you see this like couple walk in, that like cringy couple, and they sit on the same side of the booth instead of sitting across from each other.
That is weird.
Bro, I saw it recently, and I was just like, "Why? Just like what? Really? Yeah. You can't hold hands across the booth?"
There's not enough room, bro. There's not enough room. You have no wiggle room, and then if you're the one inside, you're stuck.
Oh, right. So same siding is just when you walk in, you see these two people. They just are too in love to sit across from each other. They have to sit in the same booth and share a meal usually.
See, I've never even understood that part, because like if I'm taking a girl out and I love the shit out of her, I want to look at her in the eyes and stare into her soul. I can't do that if she's next to me. I mean, she can give me a handy, but like that's not the same.
That's what I was thinking. Like, are you sitting on the same side because you're like doing foreplay under the table or something? But
if that's the case, then you know what? More power to you. But if that's not the case, you're fucking weird.
No, but even if that is the case, like, we're not sharing a meal. Like, bitch, I'm hungry. Like, I'm not sharing my meal with you. Like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'll share an appetizer with you.
That's where you go with that. Out of all of it, out of all of this, all the variables and scenarios
Are we not hungry?
As to why that people do that, your instant thought is, I'm not sharing my fucking food with you. You're like Joey from Friends. Joey doesn't share food.
Joey does not share.
But
No, he does not.
Same. I remember. I
Just that you're relatable.
I remember with my one ex, the girl, the one above everyone, that girl. I remember when her and I were together. I was like, listen, I don't fucking share food ever. But I shared my food with her in that moment, and I was like, "That's how you know I love you."
That's love. That's love. Let me tell you something. There's rules. So all those people that get upset when they like, "Babe, you want something?" It's like, "No, I don't want anything," and then she steals your fries. I'm at a point in my relationship now where if I go, I don't want anything. I still come home with a medium fry for her because I'm smart. Because you ain't stealing my fries.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Bro, we will fight over some French fries. Like, you're not stealing my French fries.
I don't want anything. Always get something extra,
bro.
To be honest with you, so like you go into like the gas station, right? You ask your girl, you need something. She says, "No, I'm good." Get her a fucking candy bar or a bag of chips,
dude,
and a drink. Get her something. Bro.
Get her something. Bubble gum. Who cares?
Yeah, it does. Fucking just make sure it's something she likes. Don't just get anything random, But get her something.
Relationship advice: don't ever come back empty-handed.
Yeah, for real.
Ever.
Real. Anyway,
all right, and then the last one to get into is because of last week's showing of Urban Dictionaries. We wanted to start a new segment called 90s Sitcom Sex Acts. So, Urban Dictionary, if you've ever been on there and you've looked up just random, like, we're all.
It is a rabbit hole.
Oh, it's a rabbit hole. So, I looked up one, and it's called the Danny Tanner. So, Danny Tanner was the father of Full House. So, Danny Tanner is. Now, this is going to be a little bit vulgar. So, if you want to skip forward 10 or 15 seconds, that's up to you. However, the Danny Tanner is when you are doing it doggy style with a woman, you have to do it in front of a full-length mirror, and you have to look her in the eye during the act and say, "You're making a horrible mistake right now." And then once you're done, you have to look at her again and say, "Now I hope you've learned a lesson." That is the Danny Tanner.
The worst part is like when you're explaining, I've already heard it, so I know it. But even while you're explaining it again, I can just picture Danny Tanner doing that. That's the worst part. What the fuck is Bob Saget? That's his real name.
Did you ever watch Bob Saget on Entourage though?
No, I barely watched that show.
Bro, Bob Saget on Entourage, because Bob Saget in real life was he did a lot dirty.
Of cocaine.
Dude, he was dirty. He was a dirty comic. Him on Entourage is hilarious. In the movie, he's like, "I need you to have sex with my daughter's friend, so I won't." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Dude, it's a clip. It's a whole ass clip on Entourage.
Oh,
he's like, "Vince, I need you to fuck my daughter's friend, so I won't."
Wait, let's refrain from that rabbit hole because we're running out of time, and I could go down that deeper than we should. Yes, so on that note, we're going to give our farewells. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, listening on your favorite app every week like you do. We appreciate you. And everyone that's watching this on YouTube and listening at the same time, also appreciate you. For those that are on any Apple, Spotify, whatever app you're on, if you want to watch it on YouTube, Moist Voice Podcast, the @handle is Moist Voice Pod. We just started the channel, so I don't have enough subscribers yet to do a custom URL. So if you do have trouble finding it because it is a new channel, you can find the link in the description below under my link tree. For everyone watching on YouTube, if you want to listen to it on an app, links in the link tree. All the links that you need. My personal links are in there as well. I stream on Twitch, not so much anymore, but as you heard before, if you listened and you didn't just fucking tune in for some weird reason, I'm coming back. But I'm Northstar. You can find me on Northstar TV, just Northstar on Twitch. All the links are in the link tree below. I just want to say, I was a little nervous to do this video episode, I'm not gonna lie. But I think it went good. And on that note, I'm gonna kick it over to Jason for his farewell.
Yes, sir. I am Shades of Idiocy. You will find me kicking around Matt's chat, actually, when he finally comes back and starts streaming again. We have a lot of fun over there. It's usually some fuckery, but as I always say, come for the fun, stay for the fuckery, and leave disturbed because I be saying some shit. But I did good this podcast. I didn't say some shit.
I
did good.
Almost said some shit. He interrupted me a few times and stressed me out.
Oh, that's all right. We do appreciate everybody listening. Again, come find us. Podcast, Spotify, anything you listen to. The video is going to be fun. He was nervous. I actually was not. I was excited to do this. No nervousness. We're good. We're good to go. We're going to do a lot more of these, and it's going to be fun.
So the last thing I want to say real quick is that I've been sweating my balls off this whole time. It's almost as if the sun itself came into my room and sucked my soul out. But at the end of the day, nobody sucks more than Jason when he sucks my ass.